Aaron Tuttle here for Ferguson Roof Systems. For 43 years, Ferguson Roof Systems has been protecting Oklahoma's homes and businesses with quality roofing services. Their goal was to be the most honest and dependable roofing company in the state, all while providing free services such as lifetime labor warranty and annual inspections. Well, mission accomplished with thousands of client testimonials, an A+ Better Business Bureau rating, and a 5-star rating on Google. Look, the weather gives you enough to worry about, so why worry about who to trust with your roof? Call Ferguson Roof Systems today or find out more at fergusonroofsystems.com.
All right. Welcome. I'm Meteorologist Aaron Tuttle, and it is, what time is it? It's 5 minutes after 10. I meant to be on about 30 minutes ago, but I was jacking with something. You know how it is when you jack with something? Only take 5 minutes. In my world, everything's 5 minutes. Later, 30 minutes, an hour, sometimes 2 hours. Anyway, hey, I made it. You guys are in the house, so like I said, some of you are probably trying to watch the news, and I'm going to save you that stressful effort. It's all the same, gloom and doom. Just turn it off. I'm going to tell you something about the weather, which is filled with some partial happiness and partial sadness, and then partial gloom and doom. So it ain't all gloom and doom. That's the big key. You just don't want it all gloom and doom. All right, anyway, let's get on with it, shall we? So thanks for joining me. This is Meteorologist Aaron Tuttle, and you're at AT's Weather. So be sure to like the page, share with your friends and family. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Periscope. Hit the like on all those social media platforms. You'll get notified when I go live. Check out my latest blog today. It's on my Facebook wall. If you scroll down, it's the blog version of this forecast, which goes into the extended. I'm just going to focus on the short term for tonight to make it quick. But if you want more details, you can check that out. Plus, the blog before it was me talking about a new weather station that I got that I've been working with about the last almost 2 months. And I'm very impressed with it. So it's called a Tempest. And I've got a little blog post about that. And if you want to pick that one up, because I get a lot of you that ask me, hey, what's the best weather station for my kid? Because they're interested, or my husband, or whatever. And I usually try to recommend the one that I hadn't used before, but it's very expensive, and I get that. So this one's much cheaper and extremely reliable. And plus, I give you 10% off if you use my code, AT's Weather. So check that out if you're interested. And we shall move on with what you're here for. Okay, so if you may notice, I jack with my graphics a little bit. It's everything's a little different. So I'm still quite not done. I'm still tinkering. It has that newsy feel, you know. So, but anyway, we're looking at the radar view here for tonight in southwest Oklahoma. And if you notice, there's really not much going on out here. This is all ground clutter, anomalous propagation, moisture in the air, bugs, bats, whatever, you name it. So it's not, none of this is any rain. So the storms have not quite materialized. We should still at least see a few out here bubbling up and then moving to the east. Here's a look at the water vapor loop, and there is a little weak disturbance right here coming across Colorado into the Texas Panhandle, and this right here should help to generate a couple of storms here later on, and then overnight move into southwest and then south central Oklahoma. And some of those may actually hit here into Oklahoma City. It's not a big widespread deal. I think models were a little excited about it. But at least there's going to be some storms out there for tonight. I don't expect much in the way of severe weather, but you're going to hear some lightning and thunder, of course. Well, you see the lightning, but you hear the thunder. You know what I'm saying. Let's see. I was looking at the soundings earlier today just to see how unstable we were. Pretty much we were. We had a little bit of a cap, but the wind shear has actually increased here across Oklahoma, which is going to set the stage for tomorrow. So here's a look at the severe weather threat from the Storm Prediction Center. And if you'll notice a big yellow bullseye here across Oklahoma, parts of Kansas, Missouri. So this is going to be for damaging wind and hail. And I can't rule out a tornado tomorrow, believe it or not. Now, on their graphic, they have a tornado threat up here in northeast Oklahoma. I think that'll move a little bit tomorrow. They'll shove it back south and west some to include at least the eastern sides of Oklahoma City, in my opinion. We'll see what happens. And I'll tell you about that here in a second. Here's a close-up view of that, though, here for Oklahoma. And, of course, goes off the map, but it does extend out here toward Tulsa and then, of course, all of eastern Oklahoma and then back down like this. So we are here in the edge of it in Oklahoma City. Tornado potential is very low. You know, I do expect to see at least one. It's kind of a freak deal. Should be a weaker one. should be, and then golf ball and some hail with this. And we've got a cold front that's coming in, and it's going to stall right on top of Oklahoma City. And so that's the boundary focused for us to get some thunderstorm activity going here. And that's what I'm saying, the tornado threat would probably lie right along that boundary. So we'll see what happens. All right. So let's take a look here. Precipitation for tonight. This might be a little high, but this kind of gives us a general area of where you would look to see or hear some of that rain. Now here's a look at the forecast models here for tonight. Now this particular short-term model doesn't produce a whole lot tonight. You can see it out there in southwest Oklahoma. It fizzes out pretty quick, so it doesn't really do much. That may be a little too underdone, but gets the idea. Now as we head into tomorrow afternoon, I want to show you something here. So this is where the cold front lies. This is a Monday afternoon, about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, right there. So you can see how we've gone from 7, 6, 5. So in just that 3-hour window, things go from nothing to just gangbusters here over central Oklahoma. Now again, the reason for that is we've got this little cold front action right here. It's where these winds come in from the north, and they're coming in from the south and kind of southwest. So that'll be the boundary for tomorrow to deal with. And then, of course, those storms will erupt and then move eastward during the evening hours over Arkansas and Missouri and Kansas and North Texas and all that kind of stuff into Tuesday morning, and they'll be moving on off. Now, what is going on here? First off, we'll take a look at the lift. I want to show you there's a lot of lifting in the atmosphere along that boundary, and that's what's going to produce these storms. So that's where all that brightness is you see on the map. That's all 700 millibar lift, we call it, vertical velocity. So this is where things get interesting. I was really hoping that we were done with the 100s, and we are after potentially tomorrow. So you got one more day of the heat, and this is why. You see these numbers here on the map? This says, well, you have to squint to read it, but it should pop up here in a second. Come on, buddy. You can do it. Pop up. Show it to me. Show me the goods. You're not going to show me the goods, are you? You're a punk. All right, anyway, so they're about 100 degrees here in this little stretch of hot pinkness that stretches across Oklahoma City, down southwest a little bit, northeast toward Tulsa along 44. So splitting the city right in half. And the reason for that is we have a theta E axis really pretty much centered right on top of us. What happens is sometimes these cold fronts, when they come in, you get compressional warming along the head of that boundary. In addition to that, we do have a little bit of dry air that sneaks in out ahead of it. This is a dew point map. So the purple's solid, 70 plus dew points here, 70 plus dew points down in here, and in between, we've got some 50s sneaking in. So that's dry air that sneaks in the early part of the afternoon. That's what allows you to really heat things up really fast. So at least it's not as a humid type feeling of 100 if it was a dew point of 70, but that will allow us to heat up along with the compressional warming. So that's what I'm saying. We're going to have some really nasty temperatures in the afternoon because of that fact. I wish I had better news for you on that. But after that, I think we're good, because up front, of course, we'll start the showers and storms later in the day, and then tomorrow, Tuesday, the front's kind of washed out, but the remnants are there. Therefore, everything else has changed. So the moisture is now in place, the cloud cover, some more rain, that kind of deal. Okay, so that was kind of a look at the specifics on kind of the heat side of things. Now, the tornado side of things. So the cloud bases are going to be a little high tomorrow, but the wind shear is actually very decent in the forecast model for this time of the year. Now, we do usually have a mini fall severe weather season. It's usually, I'd say, late September to the month of October, and then sometimes lingers in November. But it's usually about a 6-week window, and that's about it. So it's about half the time than we have our spring, and maybe even less than that. But regardless, it's got us in, of course, in the mid to upper 90s here. When that happens, we don't have much of a cap, so the SIN is basically 0. Cape values are around 4,000. We do have pretty good hail potential with this. So we also have really good wind potential. The microburst number is a 10. Once you get to 10, that means a lot of these storms have a tendency to collapse. When they do, they're going to usher in some damaging wind. So we'll have winds over 60 miles per hour. Severe weather, hail. So we do have some hail size indicators in the analogs up to around 2 inches or maybe even 2.5 inches in diameter. Now, this is in the past cases when they try to correlate things. I don't think we'll quite see that tomorrow. I'll show you here with the map in a second. But it does have a weak tornado indicator here on the mostly EF1 was the most favorable side. And again, a weak tornado for the hazard type. And a little weak here in the winds of 4 to 6 kilometers, which is partial reason for that. So again, don't be surprised if you do see a tornado tomorrow. If we do expect to have one, I'll be covering it live. So again, damaging wind, hail, and potential tornado for tomorrow here, especially over the. It's basically central Oklahoma, but the tornado potential is going to be east and southeast of that cold front. Whereas you can still have some hail and wind north and west of that front, 'cause it's close enough to that boundary. All right, now here's a look at the hail potential size. I'm going to zoom this in for you. So the max hail size of the algorithm is about 1.25 inches. So in these little pockets here you see, so these will be representing hail cores that drop down from these thunderstorms stretching all the way from central Oklahoma up toward Tulsa. So there might be some roofers happy with that. Here is a look at the lightning forecast. There's going to be a lot of lightning with this. So all the red stuff you see on the map, that would be the good old-fashioned lightning that you're going to see out there. Okay, let's see. Let's do this. Now we've got what we call the helicity updraft strength swath. So this is kind of where you'd have a supercellular type situation, or at least enough rotation there to where you're going to get swaths indicated by the model data that could drop some hail, or of course track where the worst winds would be, or potential tornado. So you can see how that's centered. This is Oklahoma County here. So that's centered here from Oklahoma, Cleveland County, and points east, this little cluster. So that's the most favored area for some of the strongest severe weather out of it. All right, now I'm going to show you the wind gust potential. So the max on this deal is 85 miles per hour. So that means that's the model saying the most potential, seeing 85 miles per hour in some of these storms. This is like an entire event you post all at once. So here in Canadian County, this little hot spot here, that's about 80 miles per hour. Down here, south looks like of Duncan, down here about 80 miles per hour. So now, is this exactly where they're going to occur? No. Don't take it as gospel. What you are going to take, though, is the take-home, which is some of these storms are going to get a little carried away. All right, so the severe weather might have snuck up on you when you were sleeping, but we got you covered here. All right, so here's the outlook for the next several days, and I want to show you. So this model blend is going to bust for tomorrow here in Oklahoma City. I think we might actually hit 100 degrees, but then from there we drop into the mid-80s. So long-term extended, do you see these 70s for highs and 50s for lows? I'm like, yes. So this is my kind of weather. This is the fall weather. That's my favorite. So there is some light at the end of the tunnel. This is the good news I had for you. Or the bad news, if you're a summer lover and you just don't want to see it go yet, I get you one horrible summer day for tomorrow, and then some mid-transition days, and then I got just some beautiful fall weather coming in for next week, just in time, to wrap up our Labor Day weekend. So you can see how Labor Day weekend is not bad, actually, as far as temperatures are concerned. So let's see, overnight, look at the Texas Tech model. It's got the little cluster of showers and storms there in southwest Oklahoma. That moved off to the east, so lingering stuff in the morning. So if you're here in Oklahoma City, we could get a couple of those in the daybreak hours. And here's Monday afternoon. It's got this little red blotch you see here. These are these guys right here. Those are like the little helicity tracks. So that means that even it's detecting potential for a little bit of that monkey business here over central Oklahoma, and then pushing off to the east in the late afternoon and evening hours. And then it still has a little bit more overnight into Tuesday morning. There's some more down south on the Red River. And then that kind of moves on out by Tuesday afternoon. And then the model tries to produce some more out here in western Oklahoma and then moves east. Now the big question with it is there enough destabilization? Do we have enough time? Do we clear out from the cloud cover? All that kind of stuff. If you notice, the storms are really strong out here. But once they move here into central Oklahoma, look what happens. They kind of fall apart. So that signal tells me is that the atmosphere hasn't fully recovered. And that while they may be going gangbusters out west, and you might hear all the TV guys jumping up and down, hooting and hollering, going, they're going to be here, they're going to be strong. The model's saying, they're going to weaken and fall apart to some good old-fashioned rain. So as long as this holds, That's a good forecast. I like that. We'll see. And then we got some more storms overnight for Tuesday night. So we can look at more of this stuff in detail later on. But I kind of just wanted to focus on Monday because that's in my opinion, the best day for severe weather and the best day for like hail and wind and all that kind of stuff. All right. That's what I had for you, friends. Oh, did that not launch? Oh, it did. Okay, good. So Kings of Destruction's checking in from Yukon, Oklahoma, and Jim is in the house. He was missing his YouTube. I didn't have it working there for a while, and I got it up and running again, so we're good to go. And let me check you guys real quick on Twitter. So as always, if you have any questions, ask you to hold them until I'm done looking at the model data, because I look at maps and stuff, and I'm processing and talk at the same time, so I can't see your comments during those moments. Let me reload my Facebook pages here. So I appreciate you guys following me from these different platforms. They're all the same. They're all in 1080p HD, so you can pipe these onto your big screen TV. You don't have to sit there and watch on your little phone unless you're in bed and you're about to close your eyes and you just want to fall asleep to the sweet sounds of AT. And I guess there's worse things you could do. Let's see. Let me go up here. My patrons first. By the way, thanks again for you guys being a patron. You can join my patron community through Patreon or Subscribestar or Facebook fan subscriptions or YouTube also. So there's many ways where you can do that. Let me try something out here. Hang with me for a second. I saw something I didn't like because I just didn't like it. Hold on here. I'll get back to you in a second. This I can't talk and think at the same time because I found something that was irritating me. And once I'm irritated, I get sidetracked, squirrel. So I have to go solve it. I'm a problem solver. I don't like to see things not working. Okay, so where was it? It was this one, wasn't it? I think it was. Oh, no, it wasn't that one. What was it? Yeah, it was. Why am I not working? Okay, there it is. Okay, now it's doing it. Alright, problem solved. So now I can get back to business. Where was I? Close that down. Alright, so there was something goofy in my graphics I didn't like. Okay, let's see. So Denise in the house. Diana's here. Dry is here. I had a good weekend. It was busy. Very, very busy. I made some actual productivity this time around. Toby wants one more day heat. Paula's like summer. So I get sometimes those fits. I don't know about you. I have all these plans to do everything like on a weekend, and I got lined up what I need to do, and I sit on the couch, and all of a sudden I sit there a little too long, and I don't feel like doing anything. All of a sudden I feel like watching a movie, taking a nap, barely even eating, sitting on my phone. That's dangerous. So that does happen on occasion, but I always feel bad afterwards. I feel like I didn't accomplish anything. But anyway, let me get back to your questions. So where was I? Mute that. Okay, scroll up. I can only scroll up so far, by the way, so I'll have to see. I'll miss some of your stuff here on the main page of Facebook. So Kimberly's sick of the heat. Stacy's already asked me a pertinent question about leaving work at 3, getting home before the storm's fire in Ada. Oh, you had plenty of time. Ada's way down there. Tracy, is a COVID, hurricane, gale force, ice storm, snowmageddon coming? No, thank goodness. Kimberly, 2020. It was funny on one of the, I forget which one it was. I watched them back to back, but on Craig Rochelle, Life Church sermon, he said 2020 is going to turn into like an adjective and just say, that was so 2020. Or don't you go 2020 on me. I was dying. Ain't that the truth? Alright, let's see what else. Yeah, Ron, you'll have to blow those graphics up on a big screen TV or on a tablet. So if your eyes are failing you, mine are starting to go a little bit. It's irritating, but I'm fighting it. I am. I'm fighting. I go to the eye doctor every time he gives me another bad report. And I said, no, I'm not taking it. I'm going to train them to act right. I'm going to refuse to wear any glasses. And I'm just going to squint a lot. I'm just going to torture myself. And each year things get just a little more blurry. And they take a little longer to focus. It's a bunch of garbage, man. That's a bunch of nonsense. Stupid genetics. Let's see. People say, oh, it's just your eyes wearing out. I said, they shouldn't be wearing out at this age. I'm still a young whippersnapper. Let's see. Do you think north central Oklahoma will see much rain through Wednesday? Soybeans and corn desperately need a drink. They've got it coming, Martin. I don't know if it'll be as big of a drink as they want, but there's definitely some rain coming. Check out my blog. It's got the rainfall totals across the state. And you can see where you are on the map and see how much you just might get. It'll be an estimation, of course. Andrea missed the temperatures. After tomorrow, the 80s return. Let's see. Protein powder. Micah. I hadn't heard that one before. Slade, what time and where are you seeing storms fire tomorrow? Slade must be late to the party, so it'd be after 4 o'clock here in central Oklahoma. So that includes the metro. So hot ahead of the storm in southeast Oklahoma? Yep. Hot and gross. Darren wants to know, what's your macros? You know, it's funny you asked that. And then Micah wants a bicep pose. You'd be severely disappointed. Macros are just... I'll tell you what, if you get my diet guide, which is on my website, AaronTuttleWeather.com, it's really cheap. It's only $25, and I give you all of my secrets. Tell you everything in there, how you can get ripped in no time. So I even have a before and after picture where 12 weeks will do. So how quickly you can change. And I've had people lose like 75 pounds in 12 weeks. I mean, it's crazy. It just depends on how much. The more you have to lose, the faster you lose it. But the key is we're all going to eat the same type of food. It's just a time and consistency. Let's see. Just south of Lake Thunderbird, are we going to get rain? Yes, you are. Let's see. Sarah, you need a hoodie? Oh, you just need a hoodie weather. I got you. You're going to have to wait a little bit. Candy, no, not LASIK. Just old age. LASIK wouldn't do me any good. I got astigmatism. I need a fix for astigmatism. Tell you what, though, cool story. My grandfather, I think back when he was about 85, he had really bad cataracts. They were getting worse and worse. So he got the surgery, and all of a sudden, he could see color again. He was so excited because everything was muted. And boy, he was on cloud nine. And then his macular degeneration kicked in, and then it slowly robbed him of his eyesight. And I think by the time he was 105, he couldn't see hardly see anything. I did not stutter. Yes, I did say 105. But then he passed. So he made it, though. Okay. You're right, Nikki. Eyes do what you're told. How do I get ATs on my TV? Amber wants to know. Okay, Amber. So this is where it depends on what you have. If you have a smart TV, they got YouTube apps on the smart TV. You can load that in. They now have Facebook apps on the smart TV. You can load that on. If you don't have a smart TV or your TV is a little old for that, like some of mine are, you can get a Roku stick, put that in there. You can get an Android box, put that in there. You can get the iPhone, or excuse me, the Apple, was it Air? I'm not an Apple person, so I don't really pay a lot of attention to Apple because I refuse to go down that ecosystem because once they get your claws in you, everything has to be Apple. And I'm like, I don't think so. So, but there's Apple AirPlay or something like that, and you can cast it from your device, your phone, through whatever Apple has, and then you can use like Mirrorcast if you have an Android. So those are various ways you can do it that way. Stacy wants some snow this year. I'm ready for it. I want some snow this year. I'm telling you, Kim, how do you stop this thing? Have you seen a tornado in real life? Kimberly, I have seen many tornadoes in real life. I was in a tornado in real life, literally. I'll never want to do that again. Danger noodles? Well, at least maybe one. It's not a huge threat there, David, but we'll see. Okay, so I think that was it. I answered all of you guys' questions. Went through. So I guess some of you don't like Apple either. See, I'm a tinkerer, and I like control of my devices. I don't want the device controlling me. And Apple is very controlling. Remember, I have a weather app, AT's Weather to Go. If you don't have it, you need to get it. You're late to the party. But it's on Apple and Google Play, right? So it's 2 different versions, 2 different sets of code, and 2 different terms of service, 2 different companies. Google, I can upload my app as is, like I want it. They go, okay, no problem. I upload my app like I want it on Apple, and they go, nah, we don't like this. And here's our reasons for it. And I go, you know what? I don't fit into these reasons. This reason doesn't even apply to me. Yeah, we say it does anyway. I'm like, it clearly says it does. And this word here says, it doesn't say must. It says may. Well, I'm declining the offer to may. No, sorry, you must. We go back and forth. And in the end, they can go, okay, we'll just take a little app off the store. You'll never have it on there ever again. You'll be blacklisted. See what I'm saying? I hate Apple. Anyway, that's a little inside track for you guys. And I got news for you. If you've heard of Gab, so if you heard of Gab and heard of Parler, so these are alternate social media platforms because Twitter's POing everybody, Facebook's POing everybody, so everybody's just scrambling for more social media platforms, or they don't feel like they're going to be censored or whatever, right? So Gab kind of started out that way, and Apple had the same little conversation with them that they had with me. And Gab says, I'm not changing anything. You can stick it, Apple. And Apple says, okay, you're no longer allowed on our store for here or forever. And so that's it. Now, if you can't get your app out to 2/3 of phone users out there across the country or the world, you're screwed, as a business entity. And then Google ended up doing the same thing to Gab. So now they both blacklisted off the whole app, and it's monopoly. So you've got a duopoly. You've got just 2 companies that hold all the apps, and now that they're shut down, those guys have nowhere to go. So let them be. The message of that I was trying to tell you is that there are terms of service for each company, right? So there's terms of service for Apple, terms of service for Google, and then there's terms of service for whatever app you have. In other words, whatever company that is, say Gab, for example, or Parler. And in their terms of service, they say, we're not going to censor you. You can post whatever you want, and free speech, blah, 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 right? Apple then contacts Parler or Gab, and they say, you know what? No, we don't like this person's content on your platform. You need to ban them or delete them. And then that platform says, no, we're not. And they says, yes, you are if you want to be an app on our store. These are our terms of service. You're like, but these are our terms of service. We're like, we don't care. We're the puppet masters holding the purse strings. So that's pretty much how that goes. So if there is an app on the Apple or Google Play Store, it's the terms of service that abide by Google and Apple, which means whatever they say goes. So they may tell you they're free speech and they're not going to do anything, this, that, and the other. If Apple or Google says jump, they'll say how high, or they've committed suicide on their business. So there you go. There's a little inside info. You guys have no idea what there is on the other side. I do, because I have to deal in this environment, and it's frustrating as all get out. But anyway, so there's a little sneak peek for those folks that stay around after the forecast. I give you these little nuggets of wisdom. The ones that bail early, they're missing out. That's all there is to it. All right, I gotta get out of here. It's 10:30, and believe it or not, my day's not over. I still got more to do. I gotta fold laundry. And then Jody wants me to call her. So I'll fold lunch. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Jody, I'll be calling you here soon. I gotta fold some laundry. All right, I gotta get out of here, guys. Thanks for watching, supporting me, all that kind of stuff on Patreon, Subscribestar, Patreon, Facebook fan subscriptions, YouTube memberships. Good grief, there's so many. Whichever you want to do. Oh, and by the way, Patreon members, they now allow a year. To in other words, you don't have to do month to month anymore. You can just pay for a year up front. So I had several of you sign up and do that last 24 hours. So that was finally good of them to do, because some people don't like to pay monthly, which I get. So there's an option for that. Okay, I'm out. And I will check in with you guys tomorrow. We'll see how the severe weather looks. And if it looks like there might be a tornado, I will broadcast live. Okay, see you, bye.